deal with, and my preference, as I will say in my remarks, is that we should have a new Manhattan Project for clean energy independence. That is the real way to deal with high gas prices, high electric prices, climate change, clean air, and the national security implications of too much dependence on foreign oil. But let me go back to the beginning and start with some problems with this bill. What's wrong with Warner-Lieberman? The first thing wrong is that the Warner-Lieberman bill, according to the Environmental Protection Agency analysis, would increase the tax on gasoline per gallon by 53%, 53 cents by the year 2030, and another 90 cents or so after that. A 53-cent per gallon gas tax increase according to the Environmental Protection Agency. That's not the Republican policy group speaking, that's the Environmental Protection Agency. And Mr. President, I propose when the opportunity comes to offer an amendment to strike from the bill the provisions that put a 53-cent gas tax increase on the American people at this time. That's the first thing wrong with the bill. Second thing wrong with the bill is that the Environmental Protection Agency says that 53-cent gas tax increase may hurt the pocketbook of the American consumer, but it won't reduce the carbon. It's not enough. It's not enough to cause people to drive much less, and it's an ineffective way to do what the sponsors of the bill want to do. So we would have the worst of both worlds. We'd be increasing the gas tax by 53 cents, and we wouldn't be doing what we aim to do, which is to reduce carbon with that effort. And the third thing wrong with the bill is it creates, over the next 10 years, and these are according to CBO analyses, no one disputes this, I don't think, what I would call a $1 trillion slush fund. It would collect money in the form of, in effect, a carbon tax through a cap and trade system on the entire economy of the United States and bring it to Washington, D.C., where members of Congress would, over the next 40 years, have created about 42 mandatory entitlement spending programs for that money. Nothing is more dangerous in Washington, D.C. than a $1 trillion trust fund with a group of congressmen with an idea about how to spend it. And my cure for that, and I think there will be amendments to this effect, is that to the extent there is any money brought in to Washington as a result of a cap and trade auction, whether it's just on power plants or the whole economy, that money ought to be returned directly to the taxpayers, especially the working people who will be having to pay for the higher electric rates or the higher gas prices. So those are three problems I have with the bill. The 53-cent per gallon gas tax increase, number one. That's what the EPA says. I don't think anyone doubts that. Number two, it doesn't work because the EPA also says, and so does other testimony before the committee of which Senator Boxer is chairman, has indicated that an economy-wide cap on fuel is not an effective way to reduce the amount of carbon produced, at least in the early years. And the third is the $1 trillion slush fund for congressmen and women to come up with their own great idea. Uncle Sam's got an idea about creating a bonfire in the backyard and recapturing the carbon. Let's put $500,000 for that and make an earmark of that and spend money on it for 40 years. I can't think of a worse way to spend money.